Hello again, everybody. Well, today I'm heading away from Chattanooga. We're coming across the Nickajack Dam area right now. I am headed to South Pittsburgh because the Lodge Cast Iron Company has opened up their museum. So yes, we're going to go take a look at a cast iron museum. So come on, guys. Let's go have some fun. We're going to poke our heads down into South Pittsburgh and see what we can see. All right, well, we are here. They have added on to the statues made of cast iron. This one happens to be Lucky. And we've got Penelope as the new one. And then they've named the original one Ferris. Anyway, guys, let's go in here and take a look. Now, folks may remember when I filmed this place last time, so you've got the factory store. They sell all sorts of goodies, and then they have the factory seconds over there. And they even have new brands like a Yellowstone branded over here that's got the Dutton Ranch on it. But this is what we're here to see. The Museum of Cast Iron. Take a look at that. That is most impressive. It looks like there's going to be a James Beard Award-winning chef. So they're going to have a restaurant soon when they get that going. You can see stuff from the Cornbread Festival. One of these days I'll get a chance to film it. And of course, you've got the Cornbread Festival awards. But we're going to go over here. One cool thing, look at all these cool patterns. And while it's fairly quiet in here, you can see they've actually got it kind of made out like a factory. You can see the pots going by. And they talk about this, but we're going to go down in here and take a look. And that thing can go up and down. So you can talk about the scrap steel left over from previous. And you got the pig iron. Well, and there's the recycled castings from previous stuff that didn't make the cut. And then they've got to add a few alloys to make things. Yes, this is pretty cool. Well, that's buttons to press. I'm sure they don't have stuff going on that. And of course, they're talking about all the different things that they can do. How to cook and clean. And you can see there's a great debate on whether or not to use soap or not. You can use some light soap, but I'll tell you that unless it's really badly done, I'm going to have to cast my vote on the no soap. Some myth busting. You can use cast iron cookware on glass top stoves. Your cast iron cookware is ruined if it rusts. Your cast iron cookware is unbreakable. Well, you can. No, it's not ruined if it rusts. Cast iron is breakable. It's very durable, but it can break apart. Yeah, and you can cook acidic stuff, but you've got to be very careful. And you can use metal utensils. One of the things that they've been doing in recent years is the commemorative cookware. It's pretty cool. Like I said, the Dutton Ranch one. Oh, that's kind of cool. There's one for Alabama. There's one for Tabasco. I didn't know they had one for Martha White. That's pretty cool. And for you rock and roll fans, look at that. They even have some for the Grateful Dead. And these talk about how you can cook, how you can do things. A lot of this talks about the cast iron story. Okay, this museum is really cool. It shows a lot of the stuff they've got too. I mean, they don't just make skillets. Skillets seem to be the oldest lasting ones. Look, we got the Griswold, the Wagner, Birmingham. It's just showing a lot of the history. And yes, this came down the road not too many weeks ago. This is the world's largest cast iron skillet. It's 12 feet in diameter, it's 18 feet long, and it's 2.5 feet deep. And just in case people think it's fake, yes, that is most impressive. I can't even get it in the shot. Quite impressive. And this was very impressive. Going down the road too. And it's even got the lodge on the back. That's very impressive. Now they did have to do a safety thing. There are some stobs welded on to hold it. I don't even want to know what would happen if this thing fell over. Now, one thing, it is $10 to get into this museum, but I think it's well worth it.
The skillet was removed from the sand mold and cleaned up in a shot house.
God, that thing's huge. Some of the newer stuff that they've done is some of these kind of hybrid systems like that. The kickoff grill. Kickoff grill is actually pretty cool. You can see you got the Dutch ovens. Those are famous. And before we go to this section, we're gonna go in here and look at a little bit of the history. This talks about how Lodge got started. They even have his passport from 1869. Huh. This is the original Blackfoot Foundry, or Black Lock, not Blackfoot. It was at 1st Street and Cedar Avenue. It burned in 1910. And that's what the original Black Lock stuff looked like. This is pretty cool. You can see some of the early ways that they did things. We get into the second generation. And yes, they did some cast iron figurines. And in the old days, they used smaller gear. You have the casting molds, so they would have put it down in there and molded it. And those are how the molds would have looked, and you pour into those. This talks about the 2000s. So the world's first cast iron pre-seasoning process was launched. And you can see that you have all of this branding. Now, some people are very torn about this. I haven't had a chance to play with one, but to have one that's actually highly polished, I imagine that it would cook even better. But if you're a purist, it kind of messes with people. This is the Legacy Vault. I imagine this is some of the... Oh, that's cool. You got a teapot. Ledgers, actual ledgers from back in the day. Irons. Production ledgers, incorporation papers. The original safe from the Blacklock Company, then to become Lodge. And then some of these old, got the numbers on them, 7, 8, 9, oven roasters. That's pretty cool. Let's get out here and take a look and see the rest of the process. And I guess we start. You got a quality assurance team checking stuff out. So they make the sand molds, and now they're more automatic. Now this is a clear, obviously not molten version, but it shows how the cast iron would get down into there. And then they shake as much stuff off as they can. And it goes over to where they tumble. It knocks off most of the big stuff. As it's cleaned up some, it goes to the shot blasting. Now the shot blasting really takes the cake. You can see where it really gets the last of the nasty off and gets it pretty. And they got to bring it to the grinder. I wonder. Ooh, hello. Seeing that lets them grind the edge off. That's kind of cool. After that, it comes down and they wash it, and it tumbles around with soap and a lot of these triangular shaped things. Okay. This is just so cool. You hear them everywhere. And once they get washed, they get seasoned. And of course, it is a proprietary process, so they're not going to know much. But the seasoning really works awesome. And then they package it and it goes out. Wow. 50 million pounds of cast iron. Anyway, guys, this is a pretty epic museum. It's not a huge one, but it is well worth it. Anyway, guys, I am off to go on some more journeys. So until then, why don't you go on a journey of your own? We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.